Welcome to another connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, thanks for joining us on our show this week. We come into the Studio B every Monday and have different organizations and individuals come in to talk about what's going on around our broadcast area. And hopefully we're giving you some information that maybe you don't know about the events or the organizations or the people. And we have some really good organizations in our viewing area, and we do appreciate all of them contacting us throughout the year and coming in whenever they've got special programs going. We appreciate you watching us each week. We'll take a quick break, be back in a moment, and talk with a young man about a big event and about a very good organization right here in Harrison.
Crystal clear mountain streams, river rapids, and rolling hills with endless valleys. The beauty of the Ozarks we often take for granted. At Magnus Toyota, we never underestimate the value of our customers. As a third-generation family-owned business, Magnus Toyota has been operating here in the Ozarks for over 50 years. When we make a new deal, we make a new friend. Stop in and visit us today and see why our customers say we're the best. Magnus Toyota, your hometown Toyota dealer on Highway 65 North in Harrison.
Arkansas Orthopedics and Sports Medicine now offers you 2 orthopedic surgeons, both trained in all the latest surgical techniques. Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler specialize in all forms of orthopedic problems and injuries, from torn rotator cuffs to joint replacement, even sprains or broken bones. Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler will see you quickly and with the highest standard of efficiency. The entire staff of Arkansas Orthopedics works to keep you moving. Call today for an appointment. Call Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler in Harrison at 741-8289.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Our first guest in the studio on Connection show today is Dan Thomas. Dan's been with us before. We appreciate you coming in, Dan. Thank you. Had to fill in again. Dan is with us as Director of K-Life, and we appreciate you all the good work you do. Most people, if they've lived in the Harrison area for a while, they know what K-Life is, but maybe just in case somebody's moved here or they don't know about it, maybe just give us a little brief synopsis of what K-Life is all about.
So K-Life is a non-denominational, non-profit parachurch youth ministry.
Okay.
And so we come alongside churches and parents. We're very active in the community and investing into youth, some that don't go to church or don't have the opportunity to go to church. We're an organization that provides a lot of fun and then an opportunity for the gospel to be presented.
Well, and you hit on it. You make it fun for the kids. Mm-hmm. You know, young people, well, maybe no different than they ever were, maybe even in my day, but young people have changed. You know, a lot of times to really catch the attention of a young person, you've got to put a little more into it than just the straight line type information, and I think you do that. That's one thing that K-Life has always done, at least since I've been moved back to Harrison, and K-Life got started about the same time that I moved back here. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. About when did K-Life kind of get over? And let me ask you this: was K-Life actually a part of a national program, or was it actually started here as an entity itself?
So K-Life started in 1979, and it was a part of a problem that Kanaka Camps had with their campers, thinking we go to camp in the summer, but what do we do during the year?
Okay.
And so K-Life branched off of that. K-Life in Harrison, we're either the third or fourth.
Okay.
Haven't quite been able to figure out which one.
But
we started in around 85, 86.
Okay.
So started establishing the program in 85 and then really started kicking off our clubs in 86.
Okay, so its conception was from Kanakut, actually.
Yes, a summer sports camp.
Right, which has been
Christian-based.
forever. It's in the Branson area, is that right?
Yes, Branson. There's one in Lampe, then they now have several that travel around and do like a VBS program at different churches in about 5 different states.
I didn't realize it got so big.
They just keep growing.
That is big. And again, it's a great camp for young people. I'm sure a lot of people in this area at one point in time have had their children going to Kanakut camps, and you hear a lot about it. It's great fun for the kids. And as Dan mentioned, it was a summertime camp basically at the time, and this is a great extension of that program. Age group wise, Dan, where do you start? Is it elementary kids, or where do you you start?
So we put most of our focus in junior high.
Okay.
We do a program for 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then we also do one for high school, 9th, 10th, or 10th, 11th, 12th.
Okay.
So we have a junior high and a high school program. We'll do small groups for them, so opportunity just to be able to sit down in God's Word in a smaller group setting. And then we do another program called Super K for 5th and 6th, which is to introduce them into K-Life, introduce them in our club setting, but we don't do small groups with them until they reach 7th grade.
So they get in. Do you try to separate, I should say maybe separate, but do you do the junior high age group and the senior high age group in separate settings, or do you put them together? We
will, on some events, on occasional, we'll do all of them together, but typically we'll do them separately. So we'll have a junior high club with just junior high, and then when they break up for small groups, they'll break up typically in grade and then also gender. Okay,
because it is a big age gap there from a 7th grader to a 12th grader and so forth.
Absolutely.
How often do you actually try to have events during the week or the 7-day week period?
So we do an event on Monday nights, which is called Club, and then for junior high and high school. And so we start about 6, and we'll do different things with junior high at the beginning, and then we'll end with high school at 9.
Okay.
So we do both of them within that 3 hours. And then on Thursday, the 2nd and 4th Thursday of each month, we'll do something called Super K, which is for the 5th and 6th graders, like we were talking about. And then we do another program for high school called Deeper, which is just whoever wants to come in high school, we just start digging deeper into God's Word. And so kind of like a small group setting, just a little bit more inductive in God's Word.
Okay. And do you do all of these sessions at the K-Life Barn?
Yes.
Which is right there next to the high school on Goblin Drive.
Yes. So right, we have the high school, and then just south of them, we have our facility. It's a barn, so we call it the K-Life Barn. Yeah. And it has a couple signs to identify us. Yes. We have a sign down by the road, and then we have one on our building that says K-Life. And so all that takes place there, yes.
Some of the activities that... If for those of you in the viewing audience, if you've never been there, as I've just mentioned to Dan, they just put up a new sign which really identifies them as K-Life, and it's out on the road there, a lighted sign, actually, a very nice sign. But as far as inside the facility itself, what are some of the things? It's been a long time since I've been in your building. Some of the things you do for the fun stuff. That with the kids.
So we have what we call a barn swing, which is probably one of the highlights of what we have.
Okay.
And it is exactly what you think. It's a swing inside the barn. So we have a foam pit underneath. We have a platform, and you'll sit in a chair or a seat, kind of like you would a swing, and then you swing in a circle. So instead of going back and forth, you swing in a circle.
Oh.
Then we have some other areas downstairs that we'll play a game called slam ball. It's a mixture between volleyball and tennis.
Okay.
And then we have a basketball court outside, and then we have an area we call it our loft where we'll do our programming, and we play games up there also with the kids.
Okay. So try to again keep the fun aspect, but still
it's very active.
Very active. That's good. That keeps them coming back too. To have obviously you want to get the word about to them, and but being a non-denominational makes it nice because you're not. Any faith can come there, or like you say, some may not have the opportunity or haven't had the opportunity to have a church.
Absolutely.
And this gives them a chance to listen to God's Word. So that's great. What do you do as far as the, I see different things, and we're going to talk about an event coming up here very quickly, but to raise money, I know you're 501c3. How do you raise money? How do you get money into the K-Life program?
So we have monthly donors that'll just consistently give. God's just put it on their heart. They want K-Life to exist, and they'll consistently give. So that's one way. And then we do it through fundraisers. We have a golf tournament we'll do. We do some things with the radio. We have a tournament coming up. It's a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. We've been doing it ever since we started. This is, I believe, our 29th or 30th one. Oh, wow. And so very, very consistently just doing events to raise money that way. So
and obviously then you have donors that kind of tie to the organization itself, and it kind of keeps you going and so forth.
Yes.
And you have two of you actually paid positions?
We have 2 full-time staff that work with us all year round, and then in the summer we'll take off. A lot of times we'll work at Kanakuk camps in the summer, and then we'll be back on when the school year kicks
When you start in the fall again. Kind of gives you a break and lets you do something different too. Well, we got about 5 minutes left, Dan. Let's talk about this event coming up. It's your 30th annual K-Life Banquet, which is actually coming up on Monday, March the 7th from 6 until 8 p.m. It'll be at North Arkansas College in a Pioneer Pavilion, which is at the South Campus of North Arkansas College. Why don't you speak a little bit to that event itself?
So this event, the K-Life Banquet, is going to be one of our larger opportunities for K-Life to be funded through.
Okay.
We're selling tables for the event. We're feeding everyone that comes, and then we've asked one of our directors previously to come back and talk. And the guy who's coming, you have in front of you, his name's David Horsager, and he wrote a book after being a director at K-Life here called Trust Edge, and he goes and he speaks at different companies, to their boards or just groups that are overseeing the company, and talks about how you can gain the edge based on trust in your corporation. And so he's going to do a phenomenal job speaking at the event. It's going to be worth coming to.
Well,
sure.
I just vaguely remember him actually when I moved back to Harrison. David was the director at K-Life at that time, and a very fine young man. I must say, looking at the short resume of some of his accomplishments, David has done an outstanding job, not only a national bestseller book, but he's been featured in publications like Forbes magazine, the Huffington Post, Wall Street Journal. He's spoken to large corporations such as Wells Fargo and the New York Yankees, Goodyear, and Department of Homeland Security. So that's a pretty strong resume of different people that he has touched through the speakings that he's had, and of course had served as director right here in Harrison. It's nice to have somebody move to that level when they've been here. So Dan, look what you got coming up for you there.
That's what we're looking at.
Anyway, so we do want to tickets, or do you have to get a ticket?
So we're selling tables.
Okay.
$400 for a table, and that seats 8.
Okay.
And then you can invite whoever you like. Or if you're interested in just buying an individual ticket, we can accommodate that as well.
You can do that. Should they contact you or where do they contact to get the tickets or tables?
Joanna McCall.
Okay.
Her number's at the bottom.
501-690-3125. I'm assuming she's one of the directors.
She's one of our board members,
yes,
and she's taking care of all the invitations and
very
nice.
All
of that.
Well, I must say that it's a very nice event. I have been to one of their banquets. It's been several years. This is the 30th year. Obviously, they've had them for many, many years. But it is a big fundraising event for them. Not only can you help out K-Life by attending, they always have a great meal, some good testimonials from a lot of the students that will be there that'll speak how K-Life has affected their life. The silent auction looks like you're having again this year, and a little bit of entertainment and so on and so forth. It's a really nice event. Again, this year they've expanded out. It's at Pioneer Pavilion. They always have a big crowd, so you have your tables set up down on the floor there, I'm sure, and so forth. And did I miss anything, Dan, on as far as any information here? Did I cover everything okay?
I think you covered everything pretty well.
Well, we appreciate you coming in, Dan, and talking about K-Life. It's always good to see you, and anytime we can help you here at the station get the word out about K-Life and the events that you're involved in, why, certainly give us a call or come by. We do appreciate that, and we think you do a great job over there. K-Life is a very good program, and a young person like you involved makes it nice for those young people, those students, junior high through the high school. They can communicate with young people like you. So thanks for your hard work.
Thank you.
Don't forget about the event coming up. It's the big K-Life Banquet, their 30th annual event. It'll be at Pioneer Pavilion right here in Harrison. The date on that is Monday, March the 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. Give them a call at 501-690-3125, and Joanna McCall will take care of you on that. You can purchase a table for $400, or if you just want to go as an individual, they have individual tickets as well. Again, thanks, Dan, for coming in. Thanks for joining us on Connection. We hope you brought some information to you. Stay with us. We'll check the second half of our show in just a moment.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison is a Health Mart town. Sam Alexander Pharmacy on the square downtown. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Attention safe drivers, keep your vehicle safe with new tires from Worley Tire. Stop in and visit with our friendly and knowledgeable staff and get the tires that are best for your car, truck, or SUV. You can even shop with us online at WorleyTire.com. Worley Tire also features batteries, alignments, tire rotation, and repair. Visit us on the web and like us on Facebook for the latest deals and specials that can keep you and your family safe. Worley Tire, 804 East Stevenson in Harrison.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. For the second half of our show today, we have a young man in that does a great job for the city of Harrison. He's the director of the Parks Department here, Chuck Eddington. Chuck, thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it very much.
Glad to
well, have you had a full year now of being with the city of Harrison and the Parks Department?
Full year in and still going.
Still going.
Yeah.
You got many bullet holes, or have you been able to miss most of those shots?
No, it hasn't been too bad. Everybody's been kind of easy on me since it's my first year.
Well, you've done you've done a great job, and we're glad to have you. Of course, you had many years in education and coaching, and so you've dealt with kids, I guess, all your career.
Yes, sir.
And so you're just dealing with a different set of kids. Many of them obviously come from the same schools that you were involved with, and the people and so forth. But it's good to have you. Actually, we want to talk about a few things. Harrison Parks and Rec, for those of you out in the viewing audience, Harrison Parks and Rec, which is part of the city of Harrison, is kind of an independent entity, had its own commission that takes care of the situation. The city council actually appropriates money to the Parks Department, and then Parks has to generate money through advertising and donations, etc., to offset some of the special things that happen there. And Chuck does a good job of that. Just a little bit, maybe explain, you interact with like the Soccer Association, CY, and so forth a lot, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. We have a joint effort with NASA, which is a soccer association. Right. We help them organize their practices and games and league schedules, and for CY we do the same thing for basketball and football and baseball and softball. It's a good working unit together. We help each other out, and we get a lot of kids involved in all those programs.
People out in the audience, you may not realize as well, if you think about particularly the baseball and softball fields, and then of course we have a beautiful soccer complex down on the creek, the Anstaff Bank Soccer Complex there. But also Chuck and his department, they work very closely with, for instance, American Legion and the schools in the area. I know you're doing more schools even than we used to do.
We'll have 6 different high schools playing at our facility this summer at the Community First Sports Complex. And we have 3 soccer teams will be playing at the Anstaff Soccer Complex and high school teams this summer. So we're trying to get as many local schools involved with using our facilities as we can, and we're trying to update our facilities, and that's one way we can do that, by letting them use it, and we just try to maintain and get more people involved out there.
Another thing that the Parks Department does, and Chuck does a great job of, he works very closely with the CVB, which is Convention and Visitors Bureau. Many of you see all the buses coming in for these various tournaments that Chuck puts together. It's a very competitive situation out there when it comes to bidding, particularly with AAA and even other organizations from around the country. Even though we have excellent facilities here, it becomes a very competitive situation when you're trying to bring in people to spend 2 or 3 nights, go to the restaurants, do all the things that are available in the community, because it's a huge economic impact for you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We bid out those tournaments, and CVB does a good job helping us. I mean, they just helped us build a brand new softball field last year. They just gave us enough money to buy new tarps for the field so we don't get rainouts. We work very closely with them, and they've been a very good partner this year for me, for sure. And we did very well in the bids. We'll have the state tournaments this year. We'll have the 5A baseball and softball together, which will be 32 teams in town for 3 days, and then we also got the 4A soccer. So we'll have almost 48 teams in town for sure for a couple of days for those state tournaments. So we're very excited about that.
a tremendous draw for the community when you're talking about these tournaments, particularly at the high school level when you're talking about 5A, 4A, 3A, because they come from many times a region, certainly a district, and then when you're talking about a state tournament, they're coming from all over the state to spend at least a couple of nights, sometimes 3 nights in the motels, hotels in the area, and also eating in the restaurants, purchasing fuel from the convenience store locations and whatever. So it is a tremendous thing. Something else that's coming back, I guess you're taking registration. What about the Tour de Hills? Are we doing that this year?
Tour de Hills, we're doing it again. We're partnering with Kiwanis. We started registration last week, and that'll be going on April 16th. And that was a good turnout last year, and we're looking forward to that. We got that. You can sign up online through our website right now, and I think the registration goes on for about a month, so we're excited about that.
Another thing that Chuck was telling me the other day, and this is going to be good for all of you out there, if you've ever had anything to do with the Parks Department or Consolidated Youth or NASA, they're coming up with a newsletter, which is really going to be a great way to keep information flowing out there. So many people anymore, electronic media is the way to go, obviously, and the fastest way to go through emails. And so tell us a little bit about kind of what you're getting ready to do there, Chuck.
On our newsletter, we're going to take all of our organizations and anything we have going on through parks, and we're going to take all the emails from our registrations from the past and send out to the parents of all registrations, all activities, anything coming on that's involved with parks or NASA or CY or even the high schools. We're getting in touch with them if they want us to post anything. Any organization that wants to run or advertise something through parks, and we're going to send this out once a month to keep everybody updated. I think it's going to be a great thing. And we were on Facebook and Twitter, but I think this newsletter, where it's keeping people informed, is just going to be the best thing for us. As many parents that we got involved through our activities, so we want to keep everybody informed as much as we can, and we're trying to boost our technology awareness right now at parks. So we think this is going to be a big thing for us.
Yeah. You know, something that they're working on, Chuck may not want to talk about it right now, but they're in the early stages of getting to where at some point in time they'll have online registration for all the entities that are utilizing the parks personnel and the youth center in particular, so that you can go online without having to actually physically go there. You can go online and sign up your child or children in the various different sports that go on throughout the year, not only parks department sports, but consolidated youth sports, so that it'll make it a whole lot easier. I know a lot of people out there have been wondering for a long time why we haven't had this probably.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're trying to get all of our technology up to date, and it's going from building a new website to adding the links in. So it takes a while, but we've got some people that are behind it right now that are really for it and pushing it. So we're going to try to have that done. I can't give you a date on when, but we're trying to get there, and it shouldn't be too long. Get
there in the near future. One thing I wanted to have Chuck come in to talk to us about on the Connection Show today is in the summer months, the Parks Department has had for many years a summer rec program where children can go to the youth center, and then they have different outings and so forth, and they pay per child to go, and they have trained instructors and young people, particularly college kids that maybe even going into to a degree in Parks and Rec or something, many of them that help out, and that program has always been successful. This one you're going to try is for the spring break period.
Spring break. It starts March 21st. This is the flyer we have down at the youth center, and we've taken out to all the schools and surrounding schools. It's going to start March 21st to the 25th, which is 5 full days. It's going to be $85 per child, and that's from 8 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. at night when most people get off work. We're going to have all kinds of activities, maybe a couple of field trips lined up for these kids, because we know sometimes we're just trying to offer a service that I feel like that needs to be offered to let kids have a place to go. and it'll be organized and hopefully fun for the kids. And we're looking forward to trying to start this new program and giving the community something that we feel like it's been needing.
The one thing Chuck was talking about, the spring break schools out program, it's very difficult out there if you're a parent and you've got a child or children, sometimes to find a place for them to go, a secure place, when you've only got 5 days off, and you still got a job you've got to do, and if you don't have any relatives or friends that the children can stay with during that period, then it's difficult to get into a daycare center type program or something for the youth for such a temporary period of time. And I think this program that the Parks and Rec Department will be offering is going to be something that's going to tie in with the summer rec program. And I know you tried to do a little bit for Christmas, but it didn't.
We tried to do it for Christmas last year. We just didn't have enough sign-ups for what we thought would, to get it started. So we're hoping this spring we get everybody started and they kind of figure out what we're trying to do, because it's new. And everybody could have budgeted for this in their budget, because last year around Christmas, I know it's tight around Christmas, but we think we've got the pricing right where, $85 for 5 days, 8 hours a day. We figure that we're right in the range of where we need to be, as people can afford it, and it's going to be really exciting and fun for their kids to have something to do.
So if you're out there and you do have a child and you're got an issue of what am I going to do during spring break, this is a great program. For $85 for the day, basically, or for the child per child, for that 21st through the 25th to spend all day. And again, they'll do lots of activities and so forth. You can't beat it. Plus, it's a place you can feel secure about. You can take your child there, and Chuck and his staff, and they bring in some other individuals that are used to working through the summer program with them, so they're used to taking care of kids of all ages. I should ask the age group that you take on this.
We're taking 1st through 6th grade. And if we have some spots open, we're going to open it up to kindergartners too. But we're hoping to get between 100 and 150 kids from 1st through 6th grade. And we do that because we want our counselor ratio to be 1 to 10. And if we take kindergartners, we try to have a little bit more supervision when we take on the kindergartners. So we usually do more like a 2 to 8 kind of supervision on them. We try to make sure we keep an eye on them.
So if you're looking for a place to put your child during spring break, March 21st through March 25th at the Brandon Burlsworth Youth Center, it's the Spring Break Schools Out program, $85 per child. And if you'd like to sign up, don't wait till the last minute, because they can only take so many. So give them a call. 741-2346 is the youth center number, or just go by the Brandon Burlsworth Youth Center during the daytime hours, and there'll be some staff person there that can answer any questions. You can go ahead and sign up and pay for it and get ready, because it's just around the corner. I mean, spring break is going to be coming up very shortly, and don't let it slip up on you and then all of a sudden the program's full. Chuck, thank you so much for coming in today and talking about the Parks and Recreation Department. Doing a good job. We're glad to have you a part of that program, and keep up the good work, and we'll have you come in. Anytime we can support you on any of your programs, give us a call, and we'll be happy to have you come in.
Oh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on our Connection Show today. We hope we brought some information to you, as we try to do each week on our Connection Show. If you're a part of an organization or entity and you'd like to be on the show, give us a call, 741-2566.
Something's wrong. And she goes, what'd you do to your knees? I said, one of them popping. Went to see Dr. Collins. He said, yeah, we think there's a meniscus tear. Who do you want to go see? So I didn't even think of anybody else but Tark Sedania. And on top of that, my wife has some medical issues, and she's not allowed to travel out of town by herself. There was no doubt in my mind their orthopedic wing is second to none.
Local television worth watching. KTKO Channel 8, Harris.